Welcome back to CBS Mornings. The United Nations says 3 million Ukrainians have now fled their country. The majority of those refugees have crossed into Poland, many through a checkpoint.
That's crazy. If I recall, I just remember they said that, Europe did not have the capability of taking in millions of Syrian refugees. It's just, I might be mistaken. Pretty sure they simply had no room. No fly zone over Ukraine, support democracy, no fly zone over Ukraine. I mean, these people want to fucking die in nuclear hellfire, dude. I guess they were wrong when their original estimation implied that they simply had no capability of taking in that many refugees. You know what I mean? It must have been an honest mistake. That's probably what it is. And I'm sure that they're going to take in many Syrian refugees now.
Every day, they come by the thousands, women and children bringing whatever they can carry out of the war zone. Alona and Katya traveled from hard-hit Kharkiv with their 3 young children, going hundreds of miles without food to settle in a country they barely know. At the border, volunteers serving hot meals line the path, waiting for the cold and hungry.
I mean, I don't really get this. Germany's really fucking far from Syria. Ukraine is next door to Poland. Yeah, you don't get this because you're fucking stupid. It's not about proximity in a planet where planes exist, you dumb bitch. Okay? It's about who wants to go where. And their capabilities are that, they are able to take on this many fucking refugees easily. Turns out they just don't want to do that for Syrians. It's not like Syrians didn't want to go to these fucking countries. It's that they were not allowed. People are literally fucking dying as they cross over the water to try to get to Italy from North Africa. And you're over here being like, proximity. Shut the fuck up. It's not about proximity at all. It's never been about proximity. This shit is so stupid, man. I'm sorry. And by the way, first of all, Syrians literally did, some of them did actually have to go through like a fuckload of walking too to get to at least Europe. Germany took in 500,000 Syrian refugees. Sure, EU's racist for taking in way more Ukrainian refugees, but I feel like it's weird to focus on EU here for a crisis the US cause. I've already talked about Germany taking in more refugees than everywhere else. I've talked about Germany taking more Ukrainian refugees than America and the UK. That's not what I'm referencing here. When I talk about EU countries, I'm talking about the overall attitude that most EU countries, with the exception of Germany, have. And even Germany has some issues as well with the AFD and whatnot about whether they have a capability or not. The reason is you open your door for family, but not for strangers.
Are you okay? America.
No, you're literally just saying because they're white, they're family. Ukrainians are also strangers, you fucking idiot. That's the point. You don't realize what you're saying.
Volunteers like Cami, who came from Chicago with United 6.
The whole world is watching right now, trying to figure out what it is that we can do. These people really need a lot more support and just acknowledge.
That's not true. It's culture. Closer. Don't be a fucking dick. Just fucking say race, man. What's wrong with you? Oh, it's culture. Yeah. The severe cultural differences between Ukrainian people and Russian people clearly have stopped them from fighting one another. Obviously, it's just culture, dude. Who's closer to Ukrainians in proximity and also fucking culture? Germany, the UK, or Russians? That is inconsequential in every capacity. There is no cultural exchange between Ukrainians and German people versus Syrians and German people. The only culture is religion and skin color. That's it. What the fuck do you mean? You're talking about Poland, a country in its history has historically, literally fought against Ukrainians. You don't know anything. You literally don't know anything. It's just because they're fucking white, dumbass. Polish people are culturally so similar to Ukrainian people. It's like, yeah. And they also have a history of murdering one another. I don't know if you know that or not. So now, when we talk about culture, I guess I must ask, as some chatters have pointed out, what cultural differences is a Syrian, a culture? What kind of cultural differences are there with Syrian refugees in comparison to Ukrainian ones that you would like to maybe describe? No, tell me why it's more preferable that the Ukrainian cultural differences are negligible, whereas the Syrian ones are not. Dude, for one moment, please. No, dude, actually, they're animals, these guys. There's a lot of cultural differences, bro. Bro, there's a lot of cultural differences, bro. No. Just, dude, they're not going to let you have Israel, okay? They're not going to let you make a Kurdish Israel, okay? They're not going to let you do that. Northern Iraq is as far as it will go. Stop being a fucking self-selling animal. for one moment. Holy shit. This dumb motherfucker literally, who unironically would these people would fucking kill you if they had the opportunity. And you're over here literally being like, no, Syrians do have cultural differences actually. What kind of cultural differences, dude? What kind of cultural differences is you know, less negligible when it's Ukrainian cultural differences versus Syrian cultural differences? They weren't allowed in other Middle Eastern countries either, bro. Their own peoples didn't allow them. First of all, Turkey, not even an Arab nation, took like 5 million refugees. Shut the fuck up. More. It's all men instead of women and children. Also bullshit. That's fucking bullshit. It's also, that's bullshit. Oh yeah, no Syrian women came. They were all back home fighting. And also, there's no Ukrainian men.
Acknowledgement of like, we're here for you, we support you, and we stand with you.
They're feeding people like Masha and her 5-year-old son, Benjamin.
How are you doing? We go. Oh, I'm sorry.
Her husband is back in Sumy, one of the cities under assault by Russian forces.
I'm sorry.
And as the war rips families apart, Ukrainians are bringing whatever family they can, and helpers are waiting for them too.
About how many pets do you think you've treated here?
Oh, 500-600 the last
600 pets.
Did last week, I think.
Your people only care what Americans do if it's solely to benefit you. You fuck. Wait, what? My people? Who's my people? I'm American. His clapped him. I thought it was I thought it was the guy who was talking shit to me. I mean, he was calling me the F word. But by the way, anyone that says Turkish people and Syrian people have the same culture is again demonstrating that exact same kind of fucking racism. It doesn't matter. Cultural differences are bullshit. Okay, it's bullshit. Not real.
Freezing cold.
The pets are freezing cold.
At the border, families stop to rest and recover before moving on to the next refugee center. They can grab diapers and shoes or toys for the little ones. We found this Polish soldier helping Yulia, holding her child in his arms, lightening her load, if only for a little while. But amid the kindness, there are those trying to take advantage of the vulnerable.
It's very obvious from the attempt. It's old guys trying to pick young girls, so you can assume it's
Old guys trying to get young girls.
Yeah.
Mohammed Rafat is with the United Nations Organization for Migration. He says they're increasingly concerned about trafficking of Ukrainian women.
Have there been arrests for human trafficking?
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
You know, and as if the refugees didn't have enough to worry about their safety, officials at the border were telling us they're trying to protect women and girls. They say do not get into cars offering rides and make sure you get on those official buses that.
When did you ever see a Syrian refugee mid-interview get a call on an iPhone Max 14, 596 gigabyte? It's simple. Ukrainians have iPhones, Syrians do not. Wait, that's not even true. They literally also have fucking iPhones and phones. And not only that, but that was literally used against the Syrian refugees. When the Ukrainians have iPhones, you say they're so fucking close. They're so similar. He's joking, right? Am I misunderstanding it? It's a joke? No, because the iPhone thing is not a bait. No, iPhone thing is not a bait. People literally used to look at Syrian refugees and point to their iPhones to be like, look, these guys don't seem too fucked up to me. Surprised that Syrian refugees have smartphones? Sorry to break this to you, but you're an idiot. You don't have to be a white Westerner to own a relatively cheap piece of technology. Exactly. This was such a big deal, and it was so fucking horrifically racist towards Syrian people that they were like looking for anything and everything they can to be like, these guys suck, these guys suck. The Independent of all fucking news broadcasters had to do an article on it. I mean, imagine the Independent, dude. It's not a luxury. We live in 2022. An iPhone is not a luxury item. It's a fucking survival item. Okay? It's so stupid to be like, oh, they have smartphones. Like, wow, how luxurious. It's like, no, you just have to have that to live. It's essential. Try to do anything without an iPhone or a smartphone. Have fun.
Will bring them to safety. Tony, Gale, and Vlad.
Yeah, we started hearing about that last week, Tony, when you were talking about attacks on women. Yeah. And you're so right, Nora, that's the last thing you need to worry about during this particular time. There's always somebody who will take advantage of a terrible situation. But earlier in this newscast, we just talked about the Polish Prime Minister and diplomats from Czech and Slovenia that are going to Kyiv today. That is quite a show of solidarity. Can you tell us what that means?
Yeah, I mean, you said it. It is an enormous show of solidarity. Those three prime ministers.
iPhone's literally a luxury smartphone. What do you want? One, just because someone is fucking wealthy doesn't mean they can't be escaping a fucking war zone. Holy shit. Two, it does not fucking matter. Smartphones overall across the board are necessity items. The iPhone in and of itself is not as luxurious as you fucking claim it is. I mean, it is in other parts of the world for sure, but most of those people aren't using iPhones anyway. We're just using iPhone as a substitute for a smartphone, okay? You and I both understand that, but you are a fucking idiotic piece of shit who's using this as an opportunity to continue a fucking stun lock. I'm saying iPhone is a substitute for smartphones, okay?
Ministers heading into a war zone, heading into Kyiv. Just think about on the day, as Charlie Daggett had just reported earlier in the broadcast, that they're experiencing some of the most heavy bombing of this entire conflict. Europe is trying to send the signal. Once again, they are united. They stand with President Zelensky and the Ukrainian people. And of course, Gail, this comes just before the president of Ukraine is going to address Congress. You know, that's going to be extraordinary. And once again, pleading for help from the world to stop this war. Gail?
Yeah, and
not one day.
There's so much need.
No. That doesn't deserve one day. I permanently banned them. I first banned them for a week.
7 months of brain
I
rot
think,
log.
but no, that deserves a perma. It's incredibly fucking annoying when people say I'm like being negative when people literally turn around and say that like Syrian refugees aren't fucking full humans actually, and they don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I am being negative, bitch. I'm being fucking negative. Imagine fighting on behalf of a twisted, corrupted government palm head. Yeah, I'm sorry that I'm not fucking matching your expectation of what kind of tone I should be using when there's thousands of people in here and some of them literally are just fucking saying shit like, yeah, actually, the Syrians have significant cultural differences. The mind of a Syrian. We need to fucking figure out we need to measure the Syrian skull to get a better understanding on whether or not they deserve to be saved as refugees. Like, fuck you, dude. Fucking white supremacist animal. I'm not going to respond to that in a positive way. I'm not going to be able to hold myself back. So stupid. Imagine getting mad at my fucking reaction to that instead of getting mad alongside me at all these dumb bitches who are saying shit like this. Perhaps the reason why you don't give a fuck about that and actually are in the most liberal capacity possible talking about civility and the way and policing my behavior is because you don't care about those fucking people. You care about what I have to say because you don't agree with what I have to say here. Liberals like have this weird accelerated version of brain cancer that I cannot comprehend.